You know, when I first started getting back into cassettes this past summer, I had no idea that in 5 months, from August to today, I would end up with 44 cassettes. You know, economy is a good reason, and the fact is a lot of these albums are pretty rare now, or, you know, they're just not feasible to find on CD or vinyl that easy, and they're artists I like in some way, but, you know, I don't want to pay a lot of money for expensive vinyl or, you know, CDs. Vinyl's actually getting pretty expensive now with the comeback and everything. Cassettes haven't quite made it there, so, you know, it's a smaller cult. But I'm not really a format person that I'm bound to, but if whatever format I can get it in, so long as it's not 8-track, because listening to those is a pain, you know, as you all know, I'll get it. Even open reel if I can find it. I have a good open reel player that my mother had, but anyway, and the reason there are so many laid out like this is because I organize them into semi-genres. You know, more rock over here, country, funk and soul, singer-songwriter, and jazzier stuff over there. So, anyway, here we've got Joe Jackson, I'm the Man, from 1979. Probably an original cassette from the packaging. Al Stewart's Russians and Americans from 1983. Marshall Crenshaw's Field Day from 1982. Singer-songwriter I really like. Prefab Sprouts' Jordan the Comeback from 1990. Julian Lennon's Mr. Jordan from 1989. 1 year apart, similar titles. Like that synergy. The Motels' All for One from 1982. The Kinks' Think Visual from 1986. Not sure if that's an 86 CD, but maybe. Word of Mouth by the Kinks from 1984. And Greetings from Timbuk 3 from 1986. The future's so bright, you gotta wear shades. And apparently a mule. The TV on its back. Anyway. Next up, we've got Gary U.S. Bonds, fresh from working with Bruce Springsteen and the American Man, Standing in the Line of Fire from 1984. Pete Townshend's Empty Glass from 1980. Jethro Tull's 1975 album, Minstrel in the Gallery. And, oh, I am so sorry about that, jump people. You open this up, the cassette inside is just as green, and I look forward to hearing that album. I love cute packaging. It's like a toy that doesn't need batteries for me. Van Morrison's Into the Music. I suppose this could have gone with jazz or soul, but I just put it here. Van's always good anyway. So is this dude, Brian Ferry, 1973. These Foolish Things. Now this has probably been put out in the CD format too. As you can see, it's a kind of an early 90s reprise, you know, blue tinted cassette and fonts and everything. Joe Walsh, So What, 1974. And Carpenters, A Song for You, from 1972. There's a good chance this may also be an original cassette tape from A&M. Let me open this up. Who knows? Another Manfred Mann's Earth Band, Watch, from 1978. And one of the few Gary Wright albums I do not have is classic Dreamweaver. Probably a late 80s reissue, I would say, maybe mid-80s, I'm not sure. His face is a little drowned out on that. That's a classic album. I missed many opportunities to get that on CD, so... And finding good condition vinyl of that is really hard, too, so... Anyway, here's the country. 2 Kenny Rogers albums from 1983 and 84. We've got Tonight and What About Me. If I recall, David Foster and I think James Ingram and a lot of the Q West folks were involved in these 2 albums. So, Linda Ronstadt's Get Closer from 1982. This is one of the few albums by Linda I didn't actually have, but I'm glad to have gotten it on a tape. T-Bone Burnett. He's not a common artist to find. This is an EP called Trapdoor from 1982. And another one by T-Bone. Proof Through the Night. This is a 1980... should say here what year this was. 1983. So that's a good of an EP and a follow-up album. We have Poco, Ghost Town. This album is from 1982. And we have Poco's Cowboys and Englishmen, also from 1982. And we have Anne Murray's The Hottest Night of the Year, which is from 1982. A lot of 1982 era country and country rock stuff here. And here's the things that always surprise me. I've been looking for this one for years. Rufus and Shaka Khan, Stompin' at the Savoy. Ain't Nobody came from this album. There are 5 studio cuts. But there are some really super funky ones too. Like Try a Little Understanding. Oh, that burns. Fantastic album. Whatever you can get that in, get it. This is the full album. The OJs in Philadelphia. This was another adjunct to a CD, but I'm just glad I found this. So, Jesse Johnson's Review from 1984. Actually 5. It says Chrome, BASF Chrome, Music That Shines. This was in one of those specialty A&M tapes. I have this on vinyl, but the vinyl is pretty scratched up, so I really wanted a better copy of that. I Get Anything by Curtis Blow because I don't think he had the kind of good distribution that he deserved. Ego Trip. Found this at the Goodwill, actually, on Polygram Records from 1984. What they call old school hip-hop. Eddie Grant, Killer on the Rampage, Electric Avenue. A key person for finding out where reggae and funk interlinked. I'll get any Eddie Grant, like this 1982 album, I can find on any format. Ready for the World, self-titled 84. Has Oh Sheila on it. You know, gotta have that, right? Everybody's Talking About Pop Music. His first album, that song is on here. This is from 1979. I usually categorize that in with R&B and funk just because of M's kind of orientation toward that sound. Now, here's the singer-songwriter stuff. Sorry for all this camera shake. It's just close proximity to the tripod. Bonnie Raitt, Sweet Forgiveness, 1977. Excellent album. Dan Fogelberg and Tim Weisberg. Twin sons from a different mother. And I want to dedicate this to my good friend Ben Minot over at the Oddity Archive, who I believe used the song Lazy Susan from this, one of his videos. Dave Mason, that was from 1978, by the way. Dave Mason, Split Coconut from, I think it's from 1975. Seals and Crofts, Unborn Child from 1974. Featuring, interestingly enough, a pro-life title song. Still a beautiful song, though. Carole King, City Streets from 1989, and One to One from 1982. I always like exploring, you know, lesser-known periods of an artist's career. You find a lot of treasures. The best music is not always what becomes hits. And that's always what I like to say to people who are really seriously into collecting music. Don't think because you don't recognize it that it's not good. Well, there's pretty much what you call a no-brainer in this case. Joni Mitchell's Mingus, you know, Herbie Hancock, and all the great people played on this. This isn't that hard to find on CD. I may still get it, but just to have a copy of it from somewhere. And the Manhattan Transfer, 1975, self-titled album. Joe Fadis and Billy Harper, John and Billy, on the Black Hawk label. This album is from 1974. The Fantastic Jimmy Smith, an album recorded in the early 60s, but reissued in the early 80s, in 1981, I believe. And Pat Metheny's Watercolor album, which was recorded in 1977. So that's what I've got for cassettes. I'll be back at you in the new year. There'll be a lot more cassettes, I'm sure, but the next list will probably be a lot less epic. So enjoy your music, Don't worry about the format, and peace.